Hey friends, welcome to the second season of So, What Makes You Come Alive podcast, inspiring conversations with everyday humans like you about what lights them up. We're your hosts, Gabe the Girl
and Michaela McGee. And this season, we're continuing to explore what it would look like to take ownership of and change the narratives of our lives to live a life fully alive.
Hey everybody, welcome back to So, What Makes You Come Alive podcast. I'm Gabe the Girl.
And I'm Michaela.
And today we are talking about being present during the holiday season.
That is loaded.
Yes, being present, like with a bow on your head, being a present during the holiday season.
How many seconds did it take us to get that pun in there?
Wrap me in a ribbon and stick me under the tree.
I'm a present.
Present. How to remain present and how to feel fully alive. I feel like in those moments when we're fully alive is when we're making the most amazing memories, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to word that, but yeah, it's simply is as simple as that. Is like the moments in which I felt fully alive during the past, Christmases and New Year's and even Thanksgiving it's when I'm like fully present in that moment.
Yeah.
And those are the ones I remember.
Yes. Oh, definitely. I have to say this is my absolute favorite time of year. It's the most magical time of year. Some even might say it's the most wonderful time of the year. I could sing a little ditty about it.
It's the most.
It's so good.
Let me just.
Here we go. Started. Sing it out. Sing it out.
Wonderful time. I'll put my singing mic away.
Oh, we are a singing podcast. This is what we are. Season 2.
Yes, musicals. We're kicking it with the musical.
I think theme. So. Yes. So I know that it is my favorite time of year, and it is a really magical time for so many people. But I know that there are a lot of people who are just like, okay, put my head down and just like plow through. Like we just have to get through this season because it's like, I don't know, there might be some past sadness around this time of year. It just feels kind of like a lot doing all of the family commitments. It can be really overwhelming for people who feel like they have to buy gifts that they can't afford because that's the reason for the season now is commercialism, which big time disagree with that. Like to me, this season really gets to be as magical as we let it be. But for those who really are struggling to get through it, I guess what kind of encouragement can we give? Like how can we collectively create space for people who maybe don't see this season as magically and as wonderful as I do? Like, how do we help people be present? How do we encourage them to be fully alive?
Well, if I can just give a little example from my own personal experience. Last Christmas was very different for me. I'd moved across, the seas, BC. I had moved overseas and, knew that I had to be here through Christmas Eve, which is not normal. I'm usually with my family and, go to Christmas Eve service and, come home and have a nice Christmas Eve dinner. And there's certain things that happened during that time, but there were also some things that had shifted in my family dynamic. And so it was the first year in which I knew I was like, this is going to be different. And there is no norm and there's no Christmas tree. And, it's just like some of the things that, I grew up with my whole life. And so I guess for myself, if I'm to lend any sort of encouragement in how to, still invest in that time in a way that I had some of my own personal disappointments and sadness to work through during that holiday season. But I let the other things around me that were also still important and beautiful things. Cause a Christmas tree, sure. Okay. It's a thing. I get to say it's kind of disappointing not to have a tree this year, but that's not what this season is really about. That's not why I'm flying home on Christmas Day. Yeah, I'm having McDonald's for Christmas Day, dinner when I arrive in the States. And that was kind of
That's the
disappointing, but
American
also,
way.
sitting in the drive-through with my dad, I was like, this is so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in this long line. Who knew all these people would come to McDonald's? But it was like looking for simple joys
Mhm.
and finding myself in a moment of being like, oh yeah, I didn't think I was going to be disappointed about this, but I am
Mhm.
now. Like, in this moment, I'm going to recognize that disappointment or that sadness or that change, and because it is valuable, we're not going to discount it. It's very real. But I'm also going to be like, man, I'm going to turn my heart towards thankfulness and
Mhm.
gratitude. I don't feel like thankfulness and gratitude is something we should just like, you know store away for next Thanksgiving, but we get to
Right.
carry that through this holiday season too. And I think that helped me to feel fully alive in those moments. Is like I was making new memories and doing
Mhm.
something different, and then just being open for things to surprise me.
I love that, being open for things to surprise you. Like,
Mhm.
why not? What if this Christmas or this holiday season gets to be something new? What if
Mhm.
it gets to be something joyful for the first time ever? Like, could we
Yeah.
create space for that? I know that, like, for some people, this could be a really sad time if they lost a family member during this season,
Yeah.
or I mean, whatever it is for their childhood, maybe it wasn't always like fond memories of childhood during Christmas
True.
time or Christmas during childhood. You know what I
Very
mean?
true. Yeah.
Like, I have some really magical memories of Christmas as a kid, but not every single Christmas was amazing. And there were some
Oh
like
yeah.
pretty crazy stressful times being in my household. But when I look back on those times, the memories that I hold on to, the ones that I'm choosing to hold on to, are the really joyful ones,
Hmm.
where it was like
Yeah.
it actually snowed on Christmas when we lived in Pennsylvania
Mm.
as a kid, and I like, that was so magical. I don't even know if it was, like, actual Christmas Day,
Oh
but
my
I just
gosh.
remember the visual of
Yeah.
the tree and there being snow outside, and I was like, "This is
Mm.
so nice," but it was the family, it was our four-unit family with our dog just hanging out in our living room. Like, I don't remember
Yeah.
if there were toys or not, it was just the presence, the
Yeah.
S presence, CE at the end, like,
Presents.
yes, like, being together with each other, like,
Yeah.
that was a gift. Also,
Mm.
like, definitely loved getting my size Barbie doll because that was freaking amazing, but,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
the reality
Yeah.
the reality is that, like, what I remember more than anything is being together in that
Mhm.
quietness and maybe that's what I remember because that's what I love
Mhm.
is the quietness of the winter season. Like, it gets dark so
Yeah.
early, and I love having cozy candles on. I love
Mhm.
the stillness. I love, like, peaceful
Yeah.
Christmas music. Like, I have a fake fireplace playing on my TV right now. It just, like,
Same, same.
right? Yes. But it's like it's how can we find whatever brings us joy. Like, what is it that brings us joy in the
Mhm.
everyday season? What can bring us joy in
Mm.
a really dark season? Like, well,
Mhm.
okay, for the Northern Hemisphere, this is a
Mhm.
really dark time of year, but how can we choose to bring the light in? What does that look
Mhm.
like for you,
Mm.
for each individual person? And then how do you like take that with you
Mm.
into the potential madness of
Yeah.
what this could be? But
Mhm.
recognize like we are constantly creating our own reality. Like the perspective that we have, the
Mm.
experience that we're having is going on in our head. And so what
Mhm.
can we bring into that to like take some sort of control, to
Yeah.
bring joy, to bring light, to bring
Mhm.
life? Like being
Mhm.
fully alive in this season
Yeah.
can simply be sitting around in stillness with candles going. Like that sounds
Mhm.
really peaceful
Mm.
to me.
Sounds
Right?
amazing. Sign me
Yeah.
up. Sign me up.
Mhm. Maybe get
I
some noise canceling headphones.
Yeah. Get that crackle going on that fake
Uh-huh.
fireplace. Like, come
Yes.
on, the ambiance.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, but I want to propose something, and maybe you can help me think and process through this. This thought is like how I feel like it's significant. It's that much more significant and so powerful to be able to count those joys in like simple things, or you're looking for the beauty, looking for the joy, looking um for those things in the midst of like maybe a really difficult season, being far from family, or having lost a loved one, or not being close to anybody that you'd like to spend the holidays with. But that, like, man, if you can do that during this time, like,
Mm.
of year, when there's so much emphasis on you know what Christmas should be, or what the new year should be, and you know resolutions and all the
Mm,
things that are happening, like, I feel like it's that much more powerful of an exercise to do for yourself during the holiday season. I don't
yeah.
know. What do you think about
Yeah.
that?
Well, I do think that this is like the ultimate test because,
Right.
yeah, how do you bring that into something like if you're spending time, with a you're not norm, like your family of origin,
Yeah.
if you're going back home to spend time with them when like normally, the other 99% of your life is not spent living with them. And that
Mhm.
probably brings up a whole lot of stuff there. Or if that is different from how it was in your childhood, or if you're spending it overseas where you normally
Mhm.
live or wherever, like
Yeah.
wherever you're spending time this holiday season, how do you bring that into this, like this present reality?
Yeah.
It's not easy, but maybe it is easy. Maybe it gets to be easy if we choose that. Like the
Mhm.
power of choice is so
Yeah.
freaking huge. We get to choose to be present.
Mhm.
We get to choose to be fully alive
Yeah.
in whatever circumstance.
Mhm.
So how
Yeah,
do
'cause
we
there's always gonna be things that are outside of our control, right?
Yeah.
Have to go spend time with the in-laws, or,
Mhm.
you know, don't have enough money to buy a nice meal to celebrate, or, to be able to buy gifts for the kids, or, like, whatever it may be. But, like,
Mhm.
man, what you do with what you have, whether that's like just what's between your ears, which is your brain,
Yep.
and,
Yep.
that 18 inches between your brain and your heart, like what
Mm.
you do with that space in your life, in that space during the holiday season, like nobody can dictate that.
Nope.
Nobody can control that, but you get control over that.
Mhm.
So you get to decide, okay, what does it look like to be fully alive in this moment, here in this holiday season? Like, I'm not going home for Christmas. I'm going to be here for the holidays. I'm here for Christmas and New Year's. Thank goodness my dad's gonna get to come visit me, which is so cool. I'm so looking forward to that. But it's
Yeah.
different. And so, yeah, no,
Totally.
I even myself am going to have to navigate, what does it look like to be fully alive here. And this is just like one instance of the whole entirety of my life. And that gives some perspective too.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that I'm like making it small, but it's significant.
Yeah.
It's giving it value. It's like, it's important that we do step into that space of like, I could just let this holiday season pass me by and just, muscle through, or put my head down, or whatnot. Or, you know what? I could look at this in front of me and say, like, what an amazing opportunity to have some moments in which I'm like, yeah, I feel so fully alive right now. And then to have those memories for times to come, and like
Yeah.
to have built those muscles in your brain, and, create a new pathways towards finding joy, and, whatever else may, make you fully alive during the holiday season for the future to come.
Mhm. Yes. Oh, man. That was good. I mean, just like mic drop right there. Like, this is as significant as we will let it be, but
Mm,
I do think that there is really something to be said on, are we really just, like, trudging through this,
mm,
or are we opening ourselves up to be
mm,
surprised? I loved the way that you put that at the beginning
mm.
of this conversation. Like, what if this season surprises you? What if this
Yeah.
actually gets to become the most magical
Yeah.
time of year? Or maybe at least this year it does. And
Mhm.
next year is a new year and who knows? Like, I don't know. I think that
Mm.
there's always room for something joyful. in every
Yeah.
season, you know? Like
Yeah.
it is a really dark time of year for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
personally, I have struggled with that,
Mhm.
like in my own like seasonal affective disorder. Like this is a
I was
big
just about to
thing.
say that here
Yeah.
in the region I
Mm-hmm.
live in,
Yep.
really rainy, really
Yeah.
cold, really dark. Like
Totally.
that
Totally.
is something that so many people deal with. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
am I just sad because I have
SAD.
seasonal affective disorder? Is that what is
Yeah.
happening right now? I've been told, I've been warned.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
it's a
how have
real
you
thing.
navigated that?
Ooh, I did not navigate it well when I was growing up in Seattle. It was really, really challenging and like massively depressing. But then
Mm.
in my like 20s and early 30s, I intentionally searched out places. Well, I guess it was most of my 20s, like searched out places that were very sunny. And it helped like rebuild that, but it still was like this seasonal change. And when
Yeah.
I moved from Spain to Boston, I thought, like, I'm not going to have any problems. I'm so excited about
Mhm.
real winter. It's going to be magical. But it came back freaking full force that.
Mm.
And it was like, I I don't know. I mean, it was a real struggle figuring out how to navigate this when I'm like, but I love winter. I love the snow. I love
Mhm.
these dark,
Yeah.
like the early nights, and not
And
everybody
it
feels
loves
that way.
you.
It really does. But that winter did not feel like it loved me. It felt like it hated me, and that is,
Yeah.
it was something that made me really sad, but I learned actually just a couple of years ago that I I get to choose my own happiness. I get to choose what makes me happy. I get to choose how to be happy, all of that. And
Mhm.
it doesn't, there's an abundance of happiness. My happiness doesn't take away from your happiness. And I know that this is so silly to say it out loud, but that was a huge, huge shift for me. Realizing that
Mm.
I am in control of my own happiness and me being happy does not take away from anybody else's. I
Mm.
did like an experiment during February, during birthday month a couple of years ago. I was like,
Mhm.
I wonder if I can be happy every single day this month. And I was like going through some tough stuff in our like living situation at that time.
Mhm.
And I haven't stopped. Like since
Mm.
then, it has just been this ongoing, like, what is actually going to bring me joy today?
Yeah.
And I guess that's my invitation to everybody
Mm.
here, like all of you guys that are listening to this, like what one thing can bring you joy every single day during this potentially sad, dark, chaotic, crazy season? Like, what one thing
Yeah.
can bring you joy each day?
Yeah, such a good challenge. Oh, I love it. And there's also no shame in going to buy some vitamin D pills and
Uh-uh.
pop in some of that.
Pop
I
those pills.
pop those pills, those vitamin D pills.
Yeah,
If you are uncertain if you have a vitamin D deficiency,
you probably
it's
do.
not it yeah, probably do. If you tend to get really sad and it's dark in your
Mm-hmm.
region and it's or rainy and cold or whatnot, it might be worth looking into. I know like I got tested like many years ago and she was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're vitamin D deficient. And so I haven't been retested, but I just know like being here, I'm
I think
like,
if you
oh,
live
it's been a couple
outside of
days. Like,
Florida, you probably do. I'm not kidding.
right.
Like most North
Right.
Americans have a massive vitamin D deficiency. There's just not
Yes.
enough vitamin D in the
Yeah.
wintertime at all. So, like,
Hmm.
yeah, get those supplements. Blue
Yeah.
lights are amazing too.
Yes, I have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and red light therapy too. There are
Mm-hmm.
some reasonable red light bulbs out there. That
Yeah.
also really, really helps. Sometimes I'll do that right before I go to like shower and end my
Mhm.
day. If your gym has a sauna, go do
Yeah.
some dry sauna. Like golly Ned, make sure you're moving. Like those are just some other like really
Yeah.
like easy ways to encourage you all to how to be fully alive during this holiday season.
Mhm.
I know we're eating a lot of really good foods that make us want to just like curl up, and it's cold outside, we just want to curl up and
Yes.
just like sit in one spot. But get outside, go for
Mhm.
a walk,
Yeah.
get some
Get a dog.
endorphins. Yeah,
Mhm.
get yourself a dog.
I'm
Early
just
Christmas
saying.
present. Borrow your neighbor's
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. Well,
Don't
actually,
forget
that's
about
not a
this.
bad idea. Like, go find a dog that you can take for a walk. They will
Yeah.
bring you so much joy. They will make you smile,
Mhm.
and then you can give them back to their owners.
Yeah,
You don't
truly,
have to be
truly.
responsible. Plus, it's a gift
Yeah.
to the owners. I would say that.
Yeah.
That's a great recommendation.
Make some
Mhm.
snow cream. I don't
What?
know.
What is that?
Like ice cream made from snow, freshly small fallen
Oh,
snow. You've never done that?
like a snow cone?
I mean, I grew up in Texas and I know about it.
What? I've never heard
Snow
it called
cream.
snow cream.
Oh my gosh. If you are out there and you are listening and you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, we need
please
to know.
just validate the fact that I just brought up snow cream. It's like ice
Oh
cream, but
my
from
gosh.
snow. I mean, I can't vouch for how clean it may be
It's
to
just lemon
consume said
flavored
snow
ice cream.
cream. No. Yikes.
Oh
Yikes.
my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, well, if anything, hopefully this episode brought you guys a little bit of joy and some laughter. It's obviously making us
Yes.
laugh. And that's really what it's all about, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We got to
It's
laugh,
so
but
good.
it's a ripple effect, the laughter. I mean,
Yes.
who doesn't laugh when you hear somebody else laugh? I do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that's not
Yeah.
everybody. Hopefully you all got to laugh though. Yeah.
I also have another thought.
Lay it out there.
I was looking at my phone and I was like, oh, another encouragement, at least from me, spend less time on
Uh-huh. Yeah.
spend less time on your mobile device
Yeah.
or checking your emails on your computer.
Oh my gosh.
You know, just give yourself some space from
Mhm.
technology during the holiday season. Like, I mean, we get this, you know, couple months, you know, once a year, of course. um, but it's like there's things out there that we might miss. Engagement with people. You know, I know that it can be like an easy escape to like hop on your phone, especially in uncomfortable situations. Um, but I feel like sometimes that does a disservice to ourselves to like
Mhm.
hop on our phone as a easy escape or an avenue to disconnect. Um, and what we're wanting to do here is not disconnect, is to remain connected. And whether you're remaining connected to other people or just remaining connected to yourself in that moment, like,
Mhm.
man, who knows? You could walk out of the holiday season feeling so much more freedom than you
Yeah.
have in past holiday seasons because you actually were like, okay,
Yep.
I'm going to remain present to myself in this moment, even if I'm not engaging with the people in front of me, for you know one reason or another. um, but I'm really going to, you know, give myself the gift of understanding what's going on in my mind and my heart right now, and you know, how am I navigating this time in this space,
Mhm.
and how I'm feeling. And yeah, like you said, like choosing happiness, choosing joy, but
Yeah.
you can't make those choices if you're unaware.
Yep. It all starts with that awareness. So
Yikes.
check in with yourself.
Yeah, check in
Oh
with
man.
yourself.
I think that
And
there's so much more that we could really unpack with all
mhm.
this stuff, but I certainly hope that this has been a helpful and encouraging episode of this podcast, especially going into this wild season
Yeah.
and going into the new year too.
Hmm.
Just like go find what brings you joy and
Hmm.
do that. Focus
Do
on that.
lots of that.
Yeah, do lots of the joy.
Do lots of the joy. Do all the joy.
Yeah. Well, we are especially grateful for you guys.
Yes.
Always. And during this season too, we're super grateful to get to go on this journey with you. And thank you for those of you who have been on our podcast, those of you who've been listening and not yet been on our podcast. This is an open invitation for
Come
you to
on.
come and join
Come
us.
on down.
Yeah, exactly. Come on down. But truly, if you would like to be on this podcast, we would absolutely love to have you here. We would love to have a conversation with you, and just get to connect on a deeper level. So if you're interested at all, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Thrive Fully Alive. And the link is right there in our bio to um, fill out the form to actually be able to participate in one of these episodes. Or you can send us an email at thrivefullyalive@gmail.com. And even if you don't want to be on the podcast, but just have something that you want to share with us, you can message us on Facebook or Instagram or send us an email anytime. We would love to hear from you no matter what.
Please do.
And yes, and we will see you guys next week for our last episode of 2022. And yes, so excited for that one. And then we'll see you guys in the new year.
All right. See y'all. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to So What Makes You Come Alive. We're so inspired by the conversations we get to have with everyday humans about what lights them up and how to love the story they're living. We hope that you feel just as inspired too.
Interested in getting in on the inspiration? Click the link in our Instagram bio @ThriveFullyAlive and select the option for The One About You, Be Our Guest. Remember to tune in each week for a new episode where we explore what it looks like to get back to living our best story, where we hope that your favorite story becomes your own.